Hi everyone, this is Learning with Linda, and today I bring you an update regarding Social Security. And guys, today we have some very important news to share with you all. Now, as we all know, we've all been expecting, it's finally January, and so here we have the first payments regarding the Social Security benefits that are reflective of the COLA. So, of course, we're including the schedule in this video. Then there's also a new bill in Congress that pretty much wants to protect retirees from the Social Security Administration overpayments. You know, they're trying to pretty much go back and charge people for decades of this stuff. And so there's a bill in Congress that wants to put a limit in terms of time frame. Also, starting today, there's 2 new states that will not be taxing Social Security benefits anymore. So make sure you guys stay until the end of this video to ensure that you receive this information. Now, before we get started, if you're interested in the latest news regarding stimulus, child tax credits, SNAP, p-ebt, and everything in between, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down below. Now let's get right to it. So here is the Social Security payment schedule for January, and as we all know, we've all been expecting, these payments already include the 3.2% COLA increase. So increased Social Security retirement disability benefits for 2024 will start to roll out for millions of Americans as early as December 29th, that was in some cases, and throughout the month of January. So for all retired workers, the average benefits are estimated to increase to $1,907, up from the 2023 monthly benefit of $1,848. So the increase starts with payments in January of 2024 for more than 66 million Social Security beneficiaries. So here are some important dates to keep in mind. December 29th would be when January Supplemental Security Income or SSI payments for more than 7.5 million beneficiaries will pretty much be paid. January 3rd, Social Security is paid on the 3rd of each month if you receive benefits before May of 1997 or if you get both Social Security and SSI benefits. And so remember that if your birthday falls between the 1st and the 10th, that you pretty much get paid on the second Wednesday of the month. So in your situation, you would be getting paid on January 10th. If your birthday falls between the 11th and the 20th, and you get paid on the third Wednesday, and for January it would be January 17th. And so for those that have birthdays between the 21st and the 31st, then you get paid on the fourth Wednesday, and for this month for January, it would be January 24th. So here's some information regarding the 2 new states that will not be taxing Social Security benefits anymore. And of course, this is effective starting January 1st. So some Social Security benefits can be taxable at the federal level depending on your provisional income. Additionally to that, these benefits can be taxed if you live in certain states. Now, the good news is that starting January 1st of 2024, 2 states are no longer taxing Social Security benefits, and that includes Nebraska and Missouri. So Nebraska and Missouri have shelved their respective Social Security taxation, leaving only 10 states that may still tax Social Security benefits based on preset income thresholds. Now, these 10 states are Colorado, Connecticut, Kansas, Minnesota, Montana, New Mexico, Rhode Island, Utah, Vermont, and West Virginia. However, among the states that do tax Social Security, many don't tax, if at all, that much. So, for example, in Connecticut, retirees with adjusted gross income of less than $75,000 will not be taxed on their Social Security benefits. Now, as we've talked before in this channel, Social Security Administration has been going back to its recipients and trying to fix like this whole overpayment issue, right? Which of course leaves the elderly population or people with disabilities very vulnerable because of these overpayments that were mistakenly issued. So it seems like the Social Security Administration, it's going to have to meet with the House of Representatives until this pretty much overpayment issue is resolved. Now, because of this, there's a representative that's trying to take action. He pretty much has introduced a bill to protect seniors from the unfair Social Security clawback. So he pretty much wants to set a limit in terms of how back the Social Security Administration can go. So let's dive right into those details. So there is a new push in Congress aimed at trying to help some Social Security beneficiaries who have been told they owe money because the government mistakenly overpaid them. Now, currently there is no limit, and the agency can try to fix errors that are decades old. Imagine, guys, that could be very, very tough on anyone. So Representative Ruben Gallego of Arizona, a Democrat, and Representative Gary Gaves of Louisiana, which is a Republican, introduced a bipartisan bill which would limit the Social Security Administration's overpayment lookback period to 10 years. Now, the move will introduce a limit to the SSA's overpayment lookback period for the first time, as currently the agency can look back for decades to fix errors when sending benefits to recipients. Now, unfortunately, this has resulted in some beneficiaries being asked to pay back thousands of dollars within a limited time frame that in some cases they're unable to repay, and this is especially on such short notice. Now, seniors should not be on the hook for decades-long failures of the Social Security Administration. This is something that was said by Representative Gallego. That's why I'm introducing this common sense bipartisan legislation to protect our seniors from unfair clawbacks to their much needed Social Security payments. And honestly, guys, I completely agree. I also believe that it's the Social Security Administration's fault for not being more adequate in terms of giving their payments. And, if it's their error, it's on their side. And why should people, kind of be chased down for it, especially when it comes to such a vulnerable population? So Social Security is supposed to be a safety net, not a trap. Completely agree. Beneficiaries shouldn't have to shoulder the financial burden of the federal government's errors and inefficiencies. Exactly what I was trying to say. So Representative Gallego's legislation would limit that period again to 10 years for Social Security Disability Insurance, which we all know as SSDI, and then also even SSI recipients. Now, I've also gathered some additional information in case anyone is part of this whole situation where you received an overpayment for your Social Security benefits and you're currently experiencing financial hardship. Waivers are available. It's something I really wanted you to know. So you may apply for a waiver if the mistake was not your fault and you cannot afford repayment. Now, once the Social Security Administration gives you a waiver, you can keep the money without repaying the SSA. But again, you must go through the process. So there's a form that you must use called Form SSA 632. It's called the Request for Waiver of Overpayment Recovery to seek a waiver. Now, when you fill out the form, it asks for your income, the income of your spouse and dependents, and your family expenses, which the SSA uses to determine whether you can afford to pay. So at a Senate hearing in October, former acting commissioner Kilolo reiterated that people can appeal an SSA request for repayment and request that the agency waive collection of the overpayment. Now, there's no time limit for filing a waiver. This is something that this was shared by this lady. So again, if you are experiencing financial hardship and you're being asked to pay back those overpayments, just know that there is a waiver available. Now, in other news, Martin O'Malley has been confirmed as the Social Security Commissioner. This is something that happened recently. If you guys all know, he is the former Maryland governor, Baltimore mayor, and then he also ran for president in 2016. And so the Senate voted last week to confirm former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley as Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, we all know as SSA. Now, the Senate greenlit his nomination with a vote of 50-11, just months after President Biden selected the former governor. So back in July, President Joe Biden nominated O'Malley as Commissioner of the Social Security Administration. O'Malley will run one of the biggest social programs in the nation and grapple with the surrounding uncertainty over its funding. Now, roughly 70 million people, including retirees, disabled people, and children, receive Social Security benefits. Now, in the recent years, the SSA has struggled to meet an array of challenges, from long wait times, both on its customer service phone line and at field offices even, to a sizable backlog of pending disability determinations. Now, O'Malley agreed with the critiques, saying that the SSA was facing a customer service crisis. He said the SSA is facing 50% more beneficiaries as compared with 1995, but with the same level of staffing, and added that average wait times at call centers are around 37 minutes. Though O'Malley cannot increase the SSA's budget, he argued that his experience as a governor of Maryland makes him well suited to find greater efficiencies at the SSA through the use of technology and better organization. Now, during his confirmation hearings in November, O'Malley said he would focus on improving service and then also work closely with Congress to prevent the system from becoming insolvent. And well, that is all the updates that I have for today. Remember to turn on your notification button to know when I have uploaded a new video. See you guys next time.